first climate hearing took place earlier this year in Bangladesh. Since then, more than 1.5 million people have come together at similar events in 36 countries. 1.5 million people, that's not the whole story. That 1.5 million represent hundreds of millions more. Hundreds of millions more people who may not have attended the hearing, but we are also struggling to survive our climate's tightening grip. We are here to tell the leaders of the world we have one Earth home.
We have listened this morning to 4 extraordinary testimonies from very diverse backgrounds, but their testimony has so much in common. We've heard that many communities are already facing a changed climate. We heard Cayetano from Peru. Nothing is the same for him and his community, and it's devastating. We've heard how climate change exacerbates challenges that communities are already facing. Constance from Uganda puts it so well. She says there are no seasons now. It's drought, flooding, so that exacerbates what was already part of her life, poverty and land degradation. How can you cope with that?
The reason to my coming here is to share my testimony, my stories with everybody, because everybody all over the world is here, not only African countries, all world is here. And the world leaders, to tell them, first, we want our season back.
We've heard of the extraordinary resilience and resourcefulness of communities in the face of devastating events. Helenise spoke about the problems of Tuvalu and Kibaki, and I think it's extraordinary how the small island states are trying to face their problems and determined that their voices will be heard.
Don't we understand that climate change is not negotiable? That we do not come and sit and say, throw your figures and throw your numbers in? No, it is a matter of life and death. And it is a matter of life and death for Tuvalu and Kiribati. And I'm looking for leaders who will conquer their mountains, conquer your hearts, and learn to listen with your heart and learn to care.
We've heard how women face severe pressure due to climate change. There is a gender perspective, and I think it was brought out very graphically and very poignantly by Sharbanu of Bangladesh. Finally, but crucially, we've clearly heard that the impacts of extreme events endure long after the floodwaters subside or the hurricane has passed. So what verdict can we draw from this climate hearing and from the testimonies of thousands of people in climate hearings held around the world throughout the past year? Our verdict is that climate change is undermining human rights on an unprecedented scale. Our verdict is that this is a deep and global injustice. Just 23 industrialized countries, home to only 14% of the world's population, have produced 60% of the world's carbon dioxide emissions since 1850. And these countries still produce 40% of annual emissions today. The world's poorest people have the least role in causing climate change. Yet, we have heard in very graphic detail, they are being hit first, they are being hit hardest, they are being hit worst by the impacts. They have most to lose from the indecision and delay that we have here in Copenhagen. We believe that the stories we're hearing here will be the stories for all countries, rich and poor, if we don't have the right decisions here in Copenhagen. So we want to strengthen you, but we also want you to bring this message very, very strongly to the heads of state and government who are coming.
I think it's really important that you're here as well to convey that message and to hold world leaders accountable to achieve a result at the end of this and not more talk.